The twin suns of Varys IV were setting when the human man reached the lonely farm. The air smelled like dry dust and metal, and the sky burned orange over wide silver fields. His name was Eli Ward, a wanderer, once a mechanic and soldier. Now just another man looking for a reason to keep walking. His ship had crashed 2 days ago in the desert, leaving him with nothing but a small bag and a broken communicator. He had walked for miles until he found the farmhouse, tall, silent, and built from dark metal stones. Around it stretched lines of strange blue crops that shimmered faintly even in the dusk. It didn't look friendly, but it looked like the only place where he could ask for work. Eli stood before the tall wooden gate and knocked 3 times. No answer. He waited, his throat dry. Then behind the gate he heard a soft rustle. The gate creaked open slightly. A tall figure stepped out wrapped in a thin silver shawl. Her eyes glowed faint blue, the way stars glow before dawn. Her face was calm but tired, like someone who had stopped expecting kindness. Eli tried to speak clearly. "Ma'am, my name's Eli Ward. I'm not here to cause trouble. My ship broke down east of the ridge. I just need work, any work. I can fix machines, repair fences, help with harvest. I'll work for food." The alien woman said nothing at first. Her eyes studied him, his worn jacket, the dust on his boots, the scars on his hands. She finally spoke, her voice quiet but firm. "You are human." "Yes," he said. "That's right." Her gaze didn't soften. "Humans are not welcome here anymore." Eli felt the words like a slap. He had heard this before on other colonies, places where humans were still blamed for the war. "I understand, ma'am. I just need a chance. I won't cause you trouble." The woman stood in silence. The wind moved her silver hair across her face. Then she opened the gate wider. "Come in," she said. Eli followed her through the gate into the courtyard. The house was strange, half human design, half alien curves. There were old machines rusting in the corners and small glowing plants that looked alive. "You live here alone?" he asked carefully. "Mostly," she said. "My name is Mira Kale. This land belonged to my husband. He is gone." "I'm sorry," Eli said. She looked at him again, eyes unreadable. "You want to work?" "Why?" he shrugged. "Because I need to live. Because I'm tired of leaving every place that tells me to go." For a moment, Mira's face softened, then froze again. She turned toward the door of her house. "Wait here," Eli waited. The silence around the farm was thick. He could hear faint animal sounds in the distance, something moving between the crops. He looked toward the horizon, where dark hills rose under the fading light. There was movement there too, a flicker of light like an eye watching him. Then a small voice came from behind the door. "Mother? Is that my new father?" Eli froze. He turned toward the sound. A small alien child stood there, peeking out from behind the door. She had silver blue skin like her mother, but soft brown hair, an unusual mix. Her big eyes looked at Eli with pure curiosity, not fear. "Luna," Mira said quietly. "Go inside." "But he looks kind," the child said. "He's not like the others." Mira stepped forward, gently guiding her daughter back inside. She looked at Eli, her voice suddenly sharper. "You said you needed work." "But I don't need a worker." Eli blinked, confused. "Then why?" She took a breath. "I need something else. Something harder." He waited. She looked at the door where her daughter had gone and said slowly, "I need a father, not a worker." The words hit him like thunder. Eli stepped back, thinking he misheard. Father?" "Yes." Her tone was calm, but her eyes were shaking. "My daughter has no one. The other children laugh at her because she is half-blood. The colony sees her as wrong. I cannot change that. But if she had a father, someone who could protect her, teach her, perhaps they would stop." Eli swallowed. He wanted to speak, but words didn't come. He looked at her closely. She didn't seem desperate. She seemed resigned, like someone who had made peace with madness. "That's not a small thing to ask," he finally said. "No," she replied, "but I have no one else to ask." The wind blew dust between them. For a long moment, no one spoke. Then Eli asked quietly, "What happened to her real father?" Her eyes darkened. "He died. In the war." Eli nodded slowly. "And he was human?" Her silence answered for her. Now everything made a strange kind of sense. A human soldier and a Serrani woman, the kind of love that both sides called betrayal. Eli rubbed the back of his neck. "You must know what people will say if I stay here." "I know," Mira said. "They already whisper worse. He looked around at the empty farm, the machines half broken, the house half alive, the fields half harvested. It looked like a place trying to survive without strength left. He looked at her again. Despite her calm face, he saw fear hiding in her eyes. "What's really going on here?" he asked. She didn't answer. Instead, she turned toward the hills. "You see that light?" Eli looked where she pointed. The small flicker he had noticed earlier was still there, glowing faintly blue in the distance. "Yeah, they watch every night," she said. "They think I don't know. Who watches?" "The council. The ones who killed my husband." Eli's stomach tightened. "Why?" "Because he tried to stop the war. He saved human soldiers. They called it treason. And now they watch me. To make sure I never speak of it." Eli was silent for a long time. Then he said, "So if I stay here, I'll be watched too." Mira nodded. "Yes, you'll be in danger. But maybe you'll give them a reason to stop looking." He frowned. "Because I'll be the fool who took the job?" "Because you'll be the man who made this family complete again," she said softly. Something in her voice, something tired and brave at once, made Eli look away. He didn't come here to get involved in anyone's war or story. He just wanted work, a meal, rest. But as he looked toward the little girl's shadow through the window, playing with a broken toy under the dim light, he felt a pull he couldn't explain. "I'm no father," he said quietly. "I've never been good at staying." Mira's eyes softened for the first time. "Then learn." A faint sound echoed again from the hills, metal scraping against rock. Eli turned fast, hand on the old pistol at his belt. He saw nothing, but he felt eyes on him watching from the darkness. "Whoever's out there," he said, "they're getting closer." Mira nodded slowly. "They always do when strangers come. They think I'll talk." "Maybe you should leave," he said. "I have nowhere to go," she replied. The silence between them grew heavy. Eli looked at her once more, then at the lonely child's window. He thought of the long road behind him. Dust, fear, hunger, and how every place he went, people saw only a human, not a man. Finally, he sighed. "All right," he said quietly. "I'll stay for the night, but I'll work for it. Fix your machines. Guard your farm. That's all." Mira gave a faint nod. "For now," she said. As she turned away, her voice dropped low, almost a whisper. "If you stay until morning, you'll understand what kind of home this is." The suns had fully set now. The fields glowed faintly blue under the twin moons. The strange light on the hills flickered once more, closer this time, like something breathing in the dark. Eli sat on the porch steps, cleaning the sand from his boots. He could hear the child laughing softly inside, her voice pure and innocent. It didn't fit this place of silence and secrets. Somewhere in the distance, a creature screamed, a sound that made his blood run cold. He looked toward the hills again. The light blinked twice, then vanished. He whispered to himself, "What did I just walk into?" From inside the house, Mira's calm voice floated out, almost gentle. "You wanted work, human, but here, work might just cost you your life." The wind rose again, carrying dust and whispers across the alien field as the night swallowed the farm whole. Eli woke before sunrise. The twin moons were still high, casting soft light across the silver fields. The air was cold and quiet. Somewhere nearby, a machine hummed with a broken rhythm. He rose from the wooden bench on the porch, stretched his tired arms, and looked toward the fields. Mira's shadow was already there, moving slowly among the glowing crops. She worked alone, her hands brushing the plants with care. Eli watched for a moment, then walked toward her. "You start early," he said. "Work doesn't wait for light," she replied without turning. He nodded and looked at the old irrigation lines. They were cracked and leaking. The pumps wheezed like dying lungs. He crouched beside one, touched the metal, and felt the weak vibration. "I can fix this," he said. Mira looked at him. "You don't have to." "I said I'd earn my stay." She hesitated, then gave a small nod. "Do what you can." Eli set to work. The tools were alien, but not impossible. By mid-morning, he had repaired one of the pumps. Water began to flow again through the pipes, clear and shimmering blue under the light. The small alien girl, Luna, ran toward him, laughing. "It's alive again," she shouted. Eli smiled despite himself. "Yeah, let's hope it stays that way." She crouched beside him, curious. "Mother said you're staying only for a while." "That's right, why?" He looked at her, eyes wide, skin glowing faintly. Because not everyone likes humans, little one. She frowned. But I like you. Her simple words hit him harder than she knew. He smiled gently. Then that's enough reason to fix the rest. As the day grew warmer, Mira brought him water and food. Small blue fruits and flat bread made from grain that shimmered like glass. She stood near him, watching him repair another pipe. You work fast, she said quietly. I've been fixing machines since before your war started, he replied. Old habit, she didn't answer. For a moment, they both just listened to the hum of the pumps. Then she spoke again, her voice softer. My husband was like you. Always fixing things. Always trying to make broken things work again. Eli stopped, the wrench in his hand still. You said he died in the war. She nodded slowly. Yes, but not in battle. The council said he betrayed his kind. He helped a group of humans escape during the siege of Nayland City. Eli looked down. He had heard about that battle, thousands dead on both sides. He saved humans? Yes, they executed him for it. Eli felt a tightness in his chest. So the council still watches you? They never stopped. He glanced toward the hills. The faint blue light was gone now, but he knew it would return by night. Then why didn't you leave this place? He asked. Mira's eyes followed the horizon. Because this was his home, and because I promised him I would protect Luna no matter what. Eli wanted to say something, but couldn't. There was too much weight in her words. That night, as the sun sank again, Eli sat outside repairing an old drone. The machine had been used to guard the crops, but now it was just a pile of rust. He replaced wires, cleaned circuits, and made it whir weakly to life. Inside the house, Mira put Luna to sleep. The soft hum of an old music box drifted through the open window. An earth melody, something gentle and human. Eli looked up in surprise. You play human songs? He asked. Mira stood at the doorway. He taught me, she said. Said the tune helped him dream of peace. For the first time, Eli saw something human in her eyes. A sadness he recognized too well. He looked at the small farm, the broken machines, the dark hills, the glowing sky, and felt something shift inside him. Maybe it was the loneliness. Maybe it was the child's laughter still echoing in his ears. He realized he didn't want to leave anymore. The next morning, Eli woke to the sound of thunder, not from the sky, but from engines. Heavy vehicles rolled near the ridge. Mira rushed to the window, fear on her face. They're here, she whispered. Who? Eli asked. The council's guards. They patrol this area, but never this close. He grabbed his old pistol. Are they after you? They don't need a reason, she said bitterly. They stepped outside. Dust clouds rose as two armored skimmers approached. 4 Serrani guards in dark armor dismounted. Their leader, a tall male with violet armor, looked around the farm. Mira Kale, he called out. By order of the council, you are to report to the capital for questioning. Mira stood still. I have done nothing wrong. That is for the council to decide. The guard's eyes shifted to Eli. And who is this human? Eli met his stare. I'm her worker, the guard sneered. Humans working for Serrani widows now. Pathetic. Eli's hand tightened on his weapon, but Mira placed a hand on his arm. Please, she whispered. Not here. The guard smirked, clearly enjoying her fear. You have 3 days to report, Mira Kale. If you fail, we will come back, and we will not be gentle. With that, he turned and left. The skimmers roared away, leaving silence and dust behind. Eli turned to Mira. They'll come back sooner. She nodded. They always do. He looked at the trembling child peeking from the doorway. You can't stay here. You need protection. I told you, she said quietly. I have no one. Now you do, he said. She looked at him, surprised. You'll fight for us? Eli didn't answer at first. He stared toward the hills where the guards had vanished. Then he said, I'll fight for what's right, and for the kid who calls me kind. The next few days passed like slow thunder. Eli fortified the farm. He repaired the drones, fixed the fences, and reprogrammed the old defense grid. Mira helped him when she could, though he noticed she moved slower every night, like she carried too many memories. Luna followed him everywhere, asking endless questions. Why are humans so small? Did your world really have oceans? Can you fix anything? Eli laughed often now. Maybe not everything, but I'll try. Sometimes at night he sat with Mira on the porch. They didn't talk much. The silence between them was not empty, it was shared. "You're changing this place," she said one evening. "Or maybe it's changing me," he replied. On the fourth night, the lights returned on the hills, brighter, closer, moving fast. Eli stood, his weapon ready. "They're coming," he said. Mira went pale. "They wouldn't attack here. Not with a child. They might not care," Eli said grimly. "Go inside. Get Luna." He moved toward the gate, crouching low, eyes scanning the dark. The hum of engines grew louder. Then a voice shouted through a speaker, "Human, step away from the widow's home. You are under arrest for unlawful presence in Serrani territory." Eli's heart pounded. He could see 5 guards now, armed and armored. "They weren't here for talk. Mira, get down," he shouted. The first shot hit the fence, sparking blue fire. Eli returned fire, short, controlled bursts. The night exploded in noise and light. Mira ran to his side, energy crackling around her hands. "You shouldn't fight," she said. "Too late for that," he answered. Together they fought, Eli's sharp aim, Mira's glowing energy. One guard fell, then another. But more lights appeared in the distance. "They're calling reinforcements," Eli said. Mira looked at him, breathless. "We can't win." "Then we survive," he said. He grabbed her hand and pulled her toward the house. They rushed inside, sealing the doors. The walls shook as plasma bolts hit outside. Luna hid under the table, crying softly. Eli crouched beside her. "Hey, little one, look at me." She looked up, tears on her face. "I promised your mother I'd fix things," he said gently. "That means I'll fix this too. No one's taking you away." Mira watched him, eyes wide with emotion. "Why are you doing this, human?" He looked at her, dust and light flickering around them. "Because you asked for a father. And I think I'm starting to understand what that means." Outside, the sound of heavy boots grew closer. The story ended for the night with the echo of a breaking door and Mira whispering, "Then be ready, Eli Ward, because the next sunrise might be our last." The night burned with blue light and fear. The sound of metal boots echoed through the dust as the Serrani guards surrounded the farmhouse. Eli stood near the doorway, pistol ready, breath heavy, eyes sharp. Beside him, Mira's hands glowed with energy, faint cracks of lightning dancing between her fingers. Little Luna hid behind the table, clutching her small toy. Her eyes were wide and full of silent tears. "Stay down," Eli said. "Don't move, no matter what happens." The main door shook as something heavy struck it from the outside. Boom! Wood splintered. Boom! The hinges bent. Mira turned to Eli. "They will kill you if you stay." Eli wiped the sweat from his brow. "Then I'll make it expensive for them." He smiled faintly, though his heart was beating like thunder. "You asked for a father, right? A real one doesn't run when his family's in danger." Before Mira could answer, the door burst open. The guards stormed in, armored and glowing with Serrani tech. The leader shouted, "By order of the council, surrender the human and the child." Eli fired first. The room exploded with light and smoke. Plasma bolts scorched the walls. Mira moved beside him, raising her glowing hands. A wave of blue energy shot forward, knocking 2 guards back into the doorway. Luna screamed, covering her ears. "Go," Mira shouted. "To the cellar!" Eli ran to Luna, scooped her into his arms, and dashed toward the trapdoor behind the kitchen. But another guard appeared in the hall, aiming his weapon. Eli dropped low and fired. The guard fell. Sparks rained from his armor. He pushed Luna into the small hidden cellar and whispered, "Stay quiet. Don't come out until I say." Her small hand grabbed his sleeve. "You'll come back?" Eli forced a smile. "Always." He closed the door and turned back to the chaos. Outside, more guards gathered. Their skimmers hovered above the field, shining bright searchlights over the house. Eli saw shadows moving through the smoke. 10, maybe 12 of them. "We're outnumbered," he said, reloading. Mira's face was calm but pale. "Then we fight smarter." They moved through the rooms like ghosts. Eli set traps. Wires, broken drones rigged to explode, old tools turned into weapons. Mira whispered a few words in Serrani, and the house lights dimmed, leaving only the blue glow from her hands. When the next wave came, the traps went off. Explosions rocked the porch. 2 guards fell, their armor smoking. Eli fired through the window, hitting another before ducking down. "Eli," Mira called. "Behind you." He turned just as a guard smashed through the wall. The 2 crashed onto the floor, rolling hard. The alien was stronger, larger. Eli grabbed a fallen metal rod and struck him across the helmet. Once, twice again. until the guard stopped moving. He pushed the body aside, breathing hard. "You're bleeding," Mira said, seeing the cut on his shoulder. "Not the first time," he said. "Won't be the last." Her lips trembled. "You shouldn't have stayed." He looked at her, tired, fierce, beautiful in the blue light. "You asked me to be a father. That means I stay no matter what comes through that door." Something changed in her eyes, fear mixed with respect. Maybe something deeper. Before she could speak, a deep voice shouted from outside, "Enough!" The leader stepped into the yard, his armor shining like fire. He raised his weapon toward the house. "Humans, surrender now. This is your last chance." Eli stepped outside, gun in hand. The wind carried the smell of smoke and metal. "You've already had your chance," he said. The guard sneered. "You think one man can stand against the council?" Eli raised his gun. "No, but one man can make them remember why they feared humans in the first place." He fired. The leader dodged and shot back, plasma bolts slicing the air. Eli rolled behind a pillar, shooting again. The ground shook as explosions hit nearby. Mira joined the fight, her energy flaring bright. She struck the leader with a blast of blue force, sending him crashing into the field. But he rose again, armor cracked, eyes burning. "You will die for this, widow," he shouted. Mira's voice broke with fury. "You killed my husband. You destroyed my peace. Now you will face what he tried to protect." She threw both hands forward. A burst of power hit him square in the chest, throwing him into the ground. But her energy faded fast. She staggered, weak. Eli ran to her, supporting her as more guards advanced. "You're done. Rest," he said. She shook her head. "No, we can't stop." "We don't have to," he said. "We just have to last until sunrise." The fight dragged on. The farm was burning now, the smoke rising into the alien sky. The machines Eli repaired just yesterday were shattered again. But through the fire, he saw something glinting in the dirt. Mira's husband's old datapad. He picked it up. The screen flickered, showing old files and reports, video logs, confessions. Evidence that the council had executed an innocent man. "Mira," he said quickly. This could change everything." She stared at it, her eyes wide. "That's his journal." "If we broadcast this," Eli said, "everyone will know the truth." "But the signal," she began. He cut her off. "I can reroute it through your irrigation towers. They still have power. I fixed them." She smiled weakly. "Then maybe this is why you came." They worked fast under fire. Mira powered the control node while Eli linked the datapad. Sparks flew. The old machine groaned, but the signal began to rise, a bright pulse shooting into the sky. "Come on," he whispered. "Come on." Outside, the leader realized what they were doing. "Stop them," he shouted. Guards charged forward, firing. Eli stood in the doorway, firing back with everything he had. One shot hit his side on burning pain, but he didn't fall. He kept shooting, blood dripping down his arm. "Eli!" Mira screamed. "Keep the signal running!" he shouted. He hit 2 more guards before his pistol jammed. He threw it aside, grabbed a metal rod, and charged into the smoke. The fight was brutal. Hand to hand, no words, just will. When it was over, only the leader remained. He grabbed Eli by the throat, lifting him off the ground. "You're just a human," he hissed. "Weak, broken." Eli coughed, blood on his lips. "Maybe, but humans don't stop." He slammed his knee into the leader's chest, broke free, and hit him with the rod, again and again until the alien fell. Behind him, the tower flashed bright. The signal had gone out. The truth of Mira's husband's death was now broadcast to every colony on Varys 4. The guards froze. Their comms buzzed. Confused voices filled the air. "The council? They lied," one muttered. The leader tried to stand but fell to his knees. "You'll bring chaos." Eli leaned over him. "No, we'll bring peace." By dawn, the battle was over. The surviving guards retreated, their orders unclear after the broadcast. The rising suns lit the smoke and dust like gold. Eli sat on the porch, bleeding and exhausted. Mira knelt beside him, wrapping his wound. Her hands trembled. "You're hurt badly," he smiled weakly. "I've been worse." Luna ran out from the cellar and threw her arms around him. "You came back," she cried. He hugged her gently. "Told you I would." Mira looked at him, tears shining in her eyes. "You saved us. You saved him too. His name will be cleared." Eli looked toward the sky where the signal tower still blinked. "He was a good man. You both deserved better." She touched his shoulder softly. "You gave us better." He turned to her, quiet for a moment. "So, What happens now? She smiled faintly. Now we rebuild. The colony will see the truth. Maybe humans and Serrani can live together again. Eli looked at Luna. And her? She'll have a father, Mira said simply. Eli laughed softly, tired but happy. Guess I got the job after all. Luna giggled, wrapping her tiny arms around his neck. You're my dad now. Mira watched them, her heart full. The suns rose higher, painting the silver fields with light. The war, the pain, the fear, it all began to fade under the warmth of a new beginning. For the first time in years, there was peace. And as Eli looked out over the shining fields of Varus IV, he whispered to himself, maybe this time, humanity didn't just survive, it learned to love.